Konica Minolta.
SpectraMagic NX2's Canvas Window Editor is a powerful tool to help operators or project owners to generate templates for colour communication and reporting. The system will be familiar to those who've used SpectraMagic NX, but with additional new features such as multi-page reporting, improved image usage and user-defined data. There are many elements that can be added and customised to the canvas. This video will briefly demonstrate some of the most commonly used. The other elements are added, customised and manipulated in the same way. To edit the canvas window, it's often best to temporarily reconfigure the windows. So I will do so by reducing the size of the left-hand window pane, and I will use the X in the top right corner to close the data list window. The window is easily re-added by selecting View, Customize Document Window, Data List Window. The Canvas Editor is activated by clicking the icon in the bottom right of the screen. Once pressed, the canvas grid will appear and the 4 Canvas Editor icons to the left of the canvas window. This file already has 2 pages. I'm going to add another by clicking the plus button at the bottom of the canvas window, next to the existing tabs. Then I can right-click and rename this tab. The configuration of the canvas is altered by the cog symbol in the top right of the canvas window. Here you can change the layout from landscape to portrait, change the print size, the background colour and more. The Canvas Editor icons on the left of the canvas are where the main canvas elements are found. The top icon is a mouse pointer used for moving and resizing elements already on the canvas. The second icon is the Graph Data icon. This allows you to place a range of pre-generated but deeply customizable graphs. The third icon is Drawing Tools, used to create boxes and lines to help present data more clearly. The final icon is Data Items, allowing you to place everything from free text fields, items from the List Items menu, pseudo-color patches, statistics labels, and more. I'm going to start with a free text field, but all elements work in a similar way. Once selected from the canvas icon menu, you click and drag in the canvas to place. The element is created with default data and can now be edited. This is done either by right-click and selecting Property, or by double-clicking the text box. Now you can replace the text and alter the font and colour as required. Next, the image element, also found in the bottom icon group, which allows you to place images of the target or sample, viewfinder captures where applicable, or images from your PC, in this case a logo. Probably the most commonly used element is the Label List Item object. This is located in the bottom icon set of the canvas icons and is used to place data into the report. Best practice is to resize boxes to take as little additional space as possible, or it becomes too easy to accidentally select or move items while editing other parts of the report. The box is selected, placed and sized like the text box. As you can see while I cycle between the sample measurements in the file, this box is currently displaying sample data. You can edit which data is shown by this element using right-click and item settings. Here I can switch from sample to target, pick from recently used data items from the drop-down menu, or use the setting menu to choose from a huge range of other data options from the list item menu. It can often be quicker and easier to duplicate the label list item object and reconfigure it, rather than continuing to add new from the left-hand icon menu. When doing so, you may need to delete the existing selection within the list items before adding new ones. Pseudo-colours are another commonly used element that can help identify the target or sample and larger colour differences, although a typical monitor or printer will not be able to accurately represent many smaller colour differences. Pseudo-colour patches are added like the other elements. They can be configured using right-click and selecting the property option. This allows you to remove the caption from the object and to minimise the margins, as often these patches are best placed adjacent to each other. I'm going to duplicate this element and use the Item Settings option to change between target and sample. It's also possible to change the observation condition settings to change the illuminant and degree observer used for the visualization. Next, I will use the drawing tools from the canvas icons in order to place coloured boxes and lines that will help me present the data on the canvas more clearly. Boxes are placed like the previous elements, configured using the right-click property option and resized using the scale markers in the corners and along the edges of the box. Typically, you'll also need to use right-click, send to back to help place the box behind other elements in the report, but this will be dependent on your own workflow. The next element to demonstrate is the graphs icon, which is the second to top icon group. Graphs are placed and positioned and edited like the previous elements. Where applicable, graphs can also be configured using the group settings switching. When you measure using simultaneous specular component included and excluded mode, or multi-angle measurements, or different UV modes, it can be necessary to alter which data the canvas is showing. This is done using a right click and then selecting group settings switching. Here I'm unchecking or hiding the SCE data, and you can see that change represented in the data on the canvas. I'm also going to use the right-click property option to edit the background colour so the graph is presented more clearly. And as this sample and target are very dark, I'll select the option to auto-scale the wavelength range to get a better view of the reflectance data and colour difference. Another commonly used graph is the L star, A star, B star difference graph. This can also be customised according to your needs. One of my favourite options is to use the right-click property menu to enable the Show All Data flag, which plots all of the samples in the file onto the graph, with the currently selected sample represented by coloured markers and the other samples in grey. Lastly, I'm going to add another new tab to demonstrate the final element in this report, as it will need more space. The last item I'll show is the data list, which is found in the bottom icon group. Next, I can use the List Items button to add or remove columns from the view, allowing me to quickly include a lot of data in a simple table. Once you've finished creating a canvas window, you can export the canvas alone, exclusive of any measurement data, using File, Display Template, Export Display Template, which will save an empty version of the template for use in other projects. For more in-depth demonstration of specific canvas functions, check the SpectraMagic NX2 playlist on the Konica Minolta Sensing YouTube channel.
Giving shape to ideas. Konica Minolta.
The headline new feature within SpectraMagic NX2 is the QC template system. It's not uncommon when a target colour or colour standard is communicated, specified or shared with suppliers that only the spectral data or the L star, A star, B star values are shared, but often not even that much. Many errors arise when different instruments, measurement apertures or settings are used to measure samples against that target. QC templates solve this problem by including measurement conditions alongside the colour data within a single file. The benefit of this is that the project owner can have even greater control over colour and prevent many common causes of disagreement. The wizard opens on this screen that comprises the majority of the options you will lock in the template file. Starting on the left, the wizard allows you to set up the user-defined information fields for this project. There's another video in this series that demonstrates this function in more depth, but essentially this feature allows the operator to preset drop-down boxes or text fields with additional data related to either the target or sample that don't necessarily need to be colour data related. For example, which site produced the sample or when a standard is due for review. These items are very easily added to the QC template or to a database held within SpectraMagic NX2 and can prove a huge time saver while improving the quality of reports. The next significant feature is the ability to add custom illuminance. The illuminant conditions, that is to say the lighting when an observer sees a product, is a significant factor in the way the colour is perceived. So by adding custom illuminance to the template, the digital colour data can include this context. The process for adding user illuminance is covered in its own video in this feed, so for more information, check that video which is linked in the description. Custom user equations can also be added within the template wizard, either to add organisational, national, or industry-specific indices or calculations to the template. As you can see, these can either be added from a file or manually constructed. This is a more advanced feature, and if you need help, you should get in touch with your local representative. QC measurement conditions allows you to lock the template to certain instruments and measurement modes, preventing, for example, the supplier from using an instrument with different measurement geometry or a different size aperture. The options presented differ per instrument, even allowing you to specify the saving of camera viewfinder data within the instrument where applicable. Once you've addressed these four fields, click OK to move on to the target registration. When measuring in the target or standard to the template, the measurement conditions can be specified. In general terms, you'll be using the same settings as you used within the QC measurement options screen. Once you've set up measurement conditions and named the target, the next section allows for configuration of measurement tolerances for the target, here against L star, A star, B star and on the delta E, and then a warning level which will warn when the sample gets too close to the tolerance. Next, it's possible to add data tags. These will allow the user to generate any number of tags simply by typing and pressing enter between each tag. This feature will then help organisations to sort and organise data, even when seemingly unrelated. Tags are connected through the data file, so even if the file contains 100 target colours and 1,000 samples, tags can still be used for organising and tracking otherwise unrelated measurements. Within this screen, the user can also fill out a free text comment field or link a photograph of a standard or product in order to help visually identify the standard. It's also at this point you're able to add user-defined information against the target. Remember that user-defined information can be set against targets and samples. in this case these fields to the target. You can apply user information independently to all targets stored within the template if needed, but here I'm going to select from the fields that I created earlier in the process. If any user data fields are missed during this stage, it's of course possible to amend the list later. Once the target is added, the final part of the QC template creation is to select a data display and data reporting layout for the file. It's possible to select from a number of pre-generated templates or any that have been previously created by the user. For more information on creating a user template, see the video linked in the description. Here then is a single target or standard QC template file at the end of the wizard. If you want to add more target colors to the file, click Data and then Create Target from the File menu, which will open the target wizard that was used during the QC template wizard. Until this point, we've only set user-defined information fields against the target. User-defined information fields and tags can also be added to improve the value and reporting possibilities of measured samples. So, to return to user-defined information at a sample level, first select QC Settings from the top menu and then Default Data Settings. The window that opens is used to configure which user data is added, how samples are named, and, for targets or standards, tolerance settings. User-defined information is added in the same way it was during the wizard, but these fields don't need to be the same as those used for the target. Watch the video specific to user data fields to see how to add them to the display and then into the reporting template. I'm happy now with how this template is set up, so I can save this template file ready for distribution. Note that any samples measured during the creation of the template will not be saved within the file. A QC template saves only the settings and standards. If I reopen SpectraMagic NX2, I can select Create Document from QC Template option. You can see that I can open this template that I've just created in a blank state, ready for use at a supplier or production site. Although creating QC templates requires the professional license of SpectraMagic NX2, the standard license is able to use a QC template file for measuring and saving data. For more information on using SpectraMagic NX2, check out the other videos in this feed, subscribe to this YouTube channel, or if you have a specific inquiry or need more help, contact your local Konica Minolta sensing representative.
Konica Minolta.
SpectraMagic NX2 is designed with a versatile window system that allows the operator to configure the system according to their needs. This could be, for example, to greatly simplify the display once a report has been built, allowing the operator to focus only on the current sample and target, or to maximise the pure data view in the data list window. As you can see, the default view that I'm using contains some major elements. That's the data list and the canvas on the right hand side. On the left hand side, the instrument window where you can configure the connected instrument and view information about the current calibration data and settings. Then to the middle left, smaller elements, the data property window and the evaluation window. You can also see that these elements, in the interest of space, organise their information in tabs. The evaluation result, data and additional information tabs, and in the evaluation window, tabs for colour difference. Each tab can be clicked to expand its data, dependent on how you're using the system. Users can reconfigure these items as needed, altering the 80-20 split that I have here on my smaller display to be 50-50, for example. The windows can be navigated using the scroll bar as needed, and the canvas window can be zoomed in or out using either the scale control in the bottom right of the canvas window, or by holding down Control and using the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Each of the windows can be resized by left click and dragging out in the corresponding edge. This allows the operator to tweak the current window view, either for temporary inspection of elements or permanent view balancing. The instrument window can often be completely minimized once you are configured an operating unit. This is done using the arrow bar to the right of that window and restored in the same way. Using a left mouse click and hold at the top of a window detaches it from the others and enters the reposition mode. You can see now on the screen to the left an icon which indicates that you can dock this element to the left. The same on the far right, top and bottom. There is also a cross-shaped reposition element that appears in the centre of each of the currently active zones, allowing you to position to the top, right, bottom or left of that area. The icon in the middle of that cross allows you to tab the window. It's also possible to position the window in a self-collapsing tab row to the left, and possible to use none of these icons and separate the window from the main window. This can be useful when using multiple displays, for example. With the exception of the instrument and tree window, all of the windows can be closed if not required using the X at the top right of that specific element. If you close or have previously closed a window, it's possible to restore them using the top menu, View, and then Customize Document window. Then left clicking on the item you've closed to re-add it. For more information on using SpectraMagic NX2, please subscribe to this YouTube channel or contact your local Konica Minolta sensing representative.
Konica Minolta.
This video is a brief demonstration of the user-defined information feature of SpectraMagic NX2. Adding prompted user data fields can significantly increase the utility of reports and the depth of information you're able to quickly and simply present. I'm starting from a version of the template that was created in the Canvas editor video. If you haven't already watched that video, I would recommend you watch that first. You can see on the report here a number of user fields that I've added to enhance the report. Some are related to the target, others to the sample, some could relate to both. This report has examples of two types of user data fields: string fields, which are free text, and list fields where a selection is made from a drop-down list that was pre-generated by the project owner. String fields are very effective for saving and reporting qualitative data against a sample or delivering on more complex processes. Sometimes this is crucial information that would otherwise be lost on a notepad or an email somewhere and becomes difficult to audit. Drop-down fields can be very useful at capturing other data, which may not be technically coloured data related, but are still important to track along with the project. SpectraMagic NX2 maintains a database of user data fields that have been created and stored by the user previously. You can access that via the QC settings, Manage Master Data, Manage User Defined Information Master. This screen allows you to view and edit the stored user fields. Here you can see I have fields for operator observations, recording which production equipment was used, or the contact information of the project owner. Although they're in the database, the fields aren't automatically available in every file that is created on the computer. They must be added to the file from the database. This is done via the QC Settings, User-Defined Information Settings menu. This allows adding of the user fields in the database or creation of new fields. So I'll add a few from the database and create a new field. The main choice here is whether the information is entered numerically, as a string, which is free text, or selected from a predefined list. I'm going to create a list that will display the contact email address for the customer of this product, adding responses into the selection list items box and pressing add each time until the list is complete. Then I can click apply and OK to close the window. It's possible to add specific fields to the targets and samples measured by clicking add and manually adding user-defined fields as you go. However, what I want is for the system to prompt for data capture at the time of measurement. This is done by selecting the button at the bottom of the measurement window, or by selecting QC Settings menu, Default Data Settings, Default Additional Information. This menu allows the adding of fields to the default measurement screen in this file. When these fields are added to the list here, you can see now in the sample measurement screen, these fields are ready and waiting to be filled at the point of measurement. Now, assuming you're familiar with the Canvas editor, I'll add this new field into the canvas and you can see it in action. If you aren't familiar with the Canvas editor, a link to the sample training video is in the description of this video. For more information or help in using SpectraMagic NX2, please contact your local Konica Minolta sensing representative and subscribe to the YouTube channel to be notified when new videos are added.
Giving shape to ideas. Konica Minolta.